So let's take a look at a typical incident management system. In this case, we're looking at Servicenow. And we have a ticket here that's been assigned to a group, the hardware group. And there could be 5 or 10 people in that group. Usually emails are sent to everybody within the group. That's what we call the send and hope method. Let's send an email to everybody and hope that somebody's going to do something about the problem. We're going to do this more in a targeted approach. So what will happen here is as soon as this ticket is saved, information is automatically sent over to the xMatters engine. We look up who's on call in that hardware group and we start the notification process. What you'll notice here on the right hand side of the screen is I'm going to get a few messages. I'm going to get a push message. I'm also going to get an SMS. Now I could receive a voice phone call. I could receive an email, a number of different methods. But let's take a look at these two first. The first one that I want to look at is an SMS. So for an SMS message, this is what it typically looks like. Again, something that you would see every day when you're texting with friends. Here we can see we have a critical event. There's an Exchange server down. And you'll notice there's some reply options at the bottom. Reply 12 to assign to me. Reply 13 to mark it as resolved, etc. You'll notice there's numeric options. So we supply that because not everybody may have a smartphone, but everybody has a phone with numbers. So it makes it very easy to reply. You'll also notice they're not 1, 2, and 3 because sometimes you may have multiple notifications throughout the day and you need unique numbers to reply to each one. So again, this is plain text. It's limited to 120 characters. That's the SMS protocol. There's not much else you can do with it to make it look any better. We do have another option, and that is push notifications. So we have an app that runs on iOS for iPad and iPhone, as well as BlackBerry 10 and Android devices. And within this app, if I open this up, this is the exact same notification going through a push notification. Right away, you'll notice it's much easier to read. It's a lot more data. It's formatted. I can have logos in here. I can have formatting. I can even have a hyperlink that takes me back to the ticket. And also my response options are buttons. So I just click one of those to take an action. I don't have to type anything. So much easier to work with and much easier to read than an SMS message. Now, while I was receiving those notifications, xMatters is updating the ticket. If we look at the activity log here, you'll see that I was notified over work email, SMS phone, iPhone, work voice phone, etc. All of that logging happens automatically, so we have an audit trail within the ticket of what happened. Now let's assume I want to respond to this incident, and I want to respond over my push notification. I can select the button to assign to me, and I can just send that over right now, or I can add a comment. So in this case, I want to add some more information to the ticket. Maybe I can be there in 5 minutes, or I need to order parts, or whatever it is. I type in that information, I hit send, and that information will then be inserted into the ticket. And again, I'm doing this all remotely from my device. So if I refresh the ticket one more time, what we'll see is some changes took place. First of all, right at the top, we'll see that the state is now active, and most importantly, it's assigned to Bob Smith. That means that we found somebody, he responded, he took responsibility, and we are no longer notifying anybody else in that hardware group. So if there were 10 people in that group, and Bob was the first guy on call, and he responded, we don't have to notify the other 9. We just got rid of 90% of the noise, and that happens for every incident all day long. Now as we scroll down through the activity log, we can see more information has showed up in here. The response option is up there where it says assign to me. That was what Bob selected, as well as the information that was typed in. I'll be on site in 5 minutes. So again, we were able to provide more information within the ticket. That's a very typical closed loop integration. We found the right person, we allow them to interact back to the ticket, everything is logged as an audit trail in the ticket, and they were able to take an action, change the state of the ticket, etc. Now we can take this a step further in some of the integrations, such as the Servicenow integration. Let's say Bob realizes he needs more help. He needs some people to help him on this problem, and he needs them on a conference call. We have a button at the top of this integration called Engage with xMatters. And when I select that, it gives me a form where I can kick off a conference bridge through xMatters. So I can select the priority, I need a conference bridge, I can tell people what's going on, it's an Exchange server down, I need you on the conference call right away, and then I can select the recipients. So in this case, I'm going to select 4 different groups because I need some help from these other groups. So as soon as I hit a button here, xMatters goes off and calls everybody, pulls them into the conference call, and within about a minute or 2, I'm talking to those 4 people. We also have full logging within the ticket that would show who joined the call, who didn't, etc.